allow the two children to have the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call am hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun diary, diary politico. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Godfatherism, kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o, kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìí yẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Presidio bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ, Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún live. Indeed. Thank you so much for joining me. And please read beyond the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Like it, share it. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Máyégún today, Máyégún is live. I don't know if my voice all right, because I've been under the weather somehow, and I've been sneezing as well. So you may find me having to be like somehow. But apart from that, I think I'm all right. And then, apart from my eyes, that seems a little bit watery as well, just so you know. Tonight, we are taking on the latest development from the contraption, of course. And who is the latest triggerer? Is that a word like that, by the way? Triggerer. Who has triggered the thiefnubu's lapdogs? thiefnubu's ass lickers, thiefnubu's court jesters, Koolu's incompetent attack dogs. It is no other person than Lamido Sanusi, the Emir of Kano admin. At one gathering, I think that right there in Abuja, where they were deliberating, as usual, on the state of the nation. And somehow, Sanusi, the same Sanusi, decided to add his own, his own widow's mite, kind of like a coin to the conversation. And according to him, he believes that Nigeria is on the trajectory, is on the pathway to the economic damnation. Something that the Ronukus and the senior bat idiots, the bastards, the court jesters, you see, the thiefnubu's 40 thieves, sorry, the Alibaba and his 40 thieves. In this case, it's like Alibaba and his 1,000 thieves. So they took it so personal. You see, thiefnubu and his gang, they actually believe that they are doing a great work. And you see, anybody that disagrees with them, or for any reason, decided to actually give the exact, score on what they have done or what they are doing so far, that person is automatically considered an enemy. And that is why, if you have observed very well, it seems that they are always shopping for, validation. If they see anybody that just says, thiefnubu is taking that decision, true, things are not going well, but you know what, let's just give thiefnubu some time, blah, 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 blah. They will kind of like, they will jump on that and say, thank you, Jare. Only you understand what we are doing. thiefnubu is making some hard decisions, and the result of thiefnubu's policies, you can't feel it now. You are going to feel it in the years to come. And that actually, that's a problem. You understand? It is a problem. You see, when you are unable to see your own failure, like you are lying to yourself, at the same time you are lying to others. Okay, hang on. They say you are lying to people. Because in Yoruba land, there is a saying that "Tentiwon paro fun ba mo, eni to n paro o fun ara e mo pero lohun pa." Loosely translated as, if those they are lying to are too dumb to know that they are being lied to, the person where they lie knows that he's lying to you. They are talking about taking hard decisions. Hard decisions like remove subsidy because we can no longer afford it. And by that, oh, let us float the Nigerian naira. They floated your currency because the IMF told them to. And within a space of 1 week, since then, Nigeria economy continued to nosedive all to the rock bottom. You know? And then you are telling yourself that your decisions have saved Nigeria. Meanwhile, you have the biggest political appointments in the history of Nigeria. The biggest cabinet, the biggest overhead expenditure. You are buying yourself a private jet, buying yourself yacht, building yourself new mansions. You are spending like a drunk sailor. But you are telling people that whatever it is, the consequences, or whatever the consequences of your action or pronouncement are, they will benefit it in the future, maybe in 2050, 2060. You will continue. Not only that you have devalued your currencies, you have destroyed your economy, but you continue to borrow at ridiculous, underline that word, ridiculous conditions that generations like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 generations to come, they will be born into poverty. But you are telling yourselves that you are doing the right thing. Everyone else that says, listen, if you have an economic policy that somehow impoverishes your people, there is always a time, like, you have to have this assessment time. You give it like, okay, let's take a look at our policies. 6 months. First 6 months. Let's take a look at another 1 year. Okay. You assess it again another 6 months. And something will tell you that if you are going into negative, right? You must have something called the review. Yeah. Apart from assessment, the review or a little bit of a revision. Like, you kind of say, let's make some adjustments here. This thing is not working. But no, that is not these guys. Don't tell them that. Just tell them that they are taking a decision. A decision that millions of people are being impoverished. The cost of living, is at the worst ever. People are walking like elephants. They are eating like ants. People are struggling in such a way that they have never seen before. But the political class, they are living large. They are buying vehicles. They are buying like latest cars. But you are telling yourself that your decision, your policies, they are for the betterment of theirs. It is in their own benefit. People are dropping out of schools. You are telling them that you are giving them student loan. So don't tell them that they are wrong. Don't tell them that their policies, which they are not honest with. If you're asking people to tighten their belts, you must also have what is called the cost of governance reduced as well. That's something that is like genuine. Like, if you want people to endure the hardship, whatever it is you want to call it, right? Definitely, they shouldn't be seeing you criminal politicians living large. You, thiefnubu, spending over 9 billion naira. 9 billion naira on feeding. It don't make any sense. 55 billion naira to maintain presidential fleets, planes, buying yourself every latest car every year. It don't make any sense. But don't say it to them. Just say things are getting better. Like, you can lie to people. Don't lie to yourself. But because they are a bunch of liars, career criminals. Do you understand? It doesn't really, it's like they are living in their own world. So what did Sanusi, what did he say? There are triggers, the likes of Idris, the misinformation minister, Bayo Ona-ofun-nuga, and others who have been copying and pasting the same response that nobody wants to read. How thiefnubu saved you. How thiefnubu saved Nigeria. Right? These criminals, they met inflation at 22%. Food inflation at, back then, food inflation at 24%. Today, Nigeria's inflation Official one, no, now 34.8%. It actually increased today, by the way. But that is just the fake inflation figure of the criminal government, illegitimate government of thiefnubu. The real inflation, Baba, you that is living in Nigeria, you know what the inflation is. Even some of us that came for dirty December last month, they are back to where, they are back to where they came from right now. And they are wondering, how are you guys actually coping? They said there is no 5 naira akara anymore. There's no 10 naira akara anymore. Baba, chai. How are you coping? All of you now, we did that Nigeria. How are you coping for real? When the price of food is not just high, it is like ×6. How are you coping? Everybody is there saying that we thank God. We thank which God? These rogues met Nigerian naira at official rate at 600 naira, 610 naira to $1. Today, it is 1,650 naira to $1. But they want you to be grateful that thiefnubu saved you. Thiefnubu has borrowed in dollars. thiefnubu has borrowed over $25 billion in 2 years, in less than 2 years. thiefnubu has printed over 23 trillion naira. And all of you heard all these figures and you have become desensitized. You know, really kind of like really move some of you anymore because somehow they are beating you. Economically, you have been whipped to submission. Even when you hear all this money, you don't even understand what they mean anymore. This is what they have done to you, to your psyche. For every normal person that returned to that contraption in December, they have been wondering, Baba, how are people? Even though they came with their dollars and their pound sterling, they know it that they cannot survive in that contraption. They can't. You can't live. You can't be living like that. No human being should be living the way you are living in that contraption. But they are telling you that they are, doing you a favor. You should be grateful. If not for thiefnubu, it would have been worse. What the heck, man? How are you so? I don't know. It's a rhetorical question, so I don't expect any answer because it's almost the same thing I ask every evening, every night. How are people surviving in that place? Imagine people that are earning 70,000, and then I hear that there are those who are actually earning between 25,000 and 40,000 naira. Hey, a lot of you are dealing with different health problems that you never had before, simply because you are in so much debt. Hard-working people will get job, have turned to beggars. People will get work, they are now begging to survive. But thiefnubu and his gang, they are saying that your reward is in heaven. Even if you die, your reward is in heaven. So what did Sanusi, what did he say that triggers these guys? Here is part of what he said.
To be honest, I can stand here today and I can give a few points that are contrary, a few points that explain perhaps what we're going through and how it was totally predictable, most of it, and maybe avoidable. But I'm not going to do that. I've chosen not to speak about the economy and the reforms or to even explain anything because if I explain, it would help this government, and I don't want to help the government. I don't want to help this government. They're my friends. If they don't behave like friends, I don't behave like a friend. So I watch them being stewed, and they don't even have people with credibility who can come and explain what they're doing. But I'm not going to help. I started out helping, but I'm not going to help. I'm not going to discuss it. Let them come and explain to Nigerians why the policies that are being pursued are being pursued. And meanwhile, I'm watching a very nice movie with popcorn in my hands. I'm watching them stew. But I will say one thing. What we are going through today is at least in part, not totally, at least in part, a necessary consequence of decades of irresponsible economic management. To be honest.
So my own understanding of what Sanusi was saying there is that he is not going to try to explain to you what thiefnubu and his gang, what they are doing, which means he is not going to help them lie to you, because he will need to lie to you. What is he going to say? Tell you that, like his last statement, where he said, whatever you are passing through now is also due to the past economic mismanagement, decisions or something like that. So he said they do not even have people with credibility that can come and explain to you what they are doing. Papa, waiting they won't come explain to you. What would they come and explain to you that they are doing that makes you the victim of what they are doing? They removed subsidy because according to them, it is bankrupting Nigeria. And it was some certain people that are benefiting from the subsidy. How? But when they were paying subsidy, the food prices, the cost of living, everything was like moderate. It wasn't easy, but it was moderate. So which means somehow, there is effect of that. Then he claimed to have removed it, only for him to start ferrying the money into his own private pockets through the proxies like Wale thiefnubu of Oando and the other guy. So they were supposed to reinvest money they didn't give to those people, Abi. Reinvest them in cushioning the effects of the subsidy removal, Abi. But there was no plan. There was no real any plan that, okay, this is how much money that we are going to save if we remove this subsidy, and we are possibly going to have to subsidize something else like food. Even in this country, there is always subsidy to be enjoyed by the people, right? There is always subsidy somewhere. On food, they will say, okay, every food that is coming into, for example, every food that is coming into the UK, which means the ones that we are not possibly cultivating or growing here, right? We'll say, okay, from the EU, but there must be some certain taxes on them. So in order for our people not to suffer the food inflation in the UK, so we are not going to impose a certain tax on certain set of food, okay? Or for medication, or for so and so. Whatever it is that the people in the UK would have to pay for, and they are not being manufactured in the UK here, the government will do what is called the subsidy on it. So these rogues lied to you. And when they asked them, how much have you saved from that subsidy? At least give us a figure. Wale Idris said they have saved 980 billion naira. Just a figure pulled out from somewhere. So, okay, what did you use the money for? He couldn't say. That was not the only thing he did. Baba, what they call the floating of currency is just a fancy word for devalue your currency. And when you devalue your currency, and then you snowball inflation in your country, but you have killed the people. You have killed them. This is why you are facing what you are facing in that contraption today. Floated your currency. But they started depending naira by borrowing dollars. I was shouting as well, the lone voice in the wilderness. Thiefnubu and his gang borrowed $3.3 billion to defend Nigerian naira. I have never heard anything like that in my life. They didn't borrow the money to invest in manufacturing sector, to invest in power sector. Okay, let's invest in power sector so that the more power we generate, right? They say there's going to be improved productivity, manufacturing, so that the Nigeria that has always been a dumping ground for the finished goods, finished products all over the world, that same Nigeria can begin to not just be a dumping ground, it can actually be a manufacturing hub where all the vessels, the aircraft, dumping stuff in Nigeria, they are not leaving Nigeria empty. It is said that when aircraft dump whatever your importers are imported into Nigeria, they actually have another business people that will have to pull, what is it called? Sandbags, just to balance the weight of the cargo planes. They have to put sand in the bags and load sand in those aircraft so as to balance the weight before they can leave Nigeria. Nigeria is not producing anything worthy of export per se to earn any forex or anything. So how can you be borrowing money to defend your currency and you call that one a policy? Businesses are struggling. They are not just struggling, they are dying. But the likes of thiefnubu continue to cook the book, hoping that they can continue to lie their ways out of this economic doldrum, economic quagmire. Sorry, Jared, they're just like all those two big words in my head. Economic doom is what I mean. Where over 64 million Nigerians are currently facing food starvation. Like people are going to starve to death. It's not going to happen just boom once. It's going to happen gradually, slowly and slowly. And over time, people will be dropping dead like that. Fortunately, they're likely not going to say they died of starvation, hunger. They'll find something else to say they died of. They reduced your purchasing power, but they actually made you poorer. With the inflation you have in Nigeria today, I have done this before, even though I'm not an economist, right? So it's like you having 100 naira. And from that, your 100 naira, the value of that, your 100 naira, lost about 75% of it. So it's like having 100 naira, but the real value of that 100 naira is 25 naira. Huh? The Fulani terrorists, the Boko Haram terrorists, they continue to wax stronger, killing farmers, destroying farms, destroying villages, chasing people to the IDP camp. But they are using their media to cover all of this up. It got to a stage where thiefnubu was importing rice to share. They are even celebrating another one now, 2 days ago. Was it 2 days ago or yesterday? Special advisor to thiefnubu on student affairs. What is his name again? Asebo or something. This old man that was the NANS president. See, we no day any school. He was NANS president for a while. What is his name again? Sunday Asebo or something. He has been appointed as thiefnubu special advisor on student affairs. He now came out and he said all the student union leaders across Nigeria, Asefon came out yesterday or 2 days ago and said thiefnubu has approved that they should give all student union leaders across Nigeria, across the 36 states and Abuja, bag of rice. thiefnubu's palliative for student union in 2025. They said they were cultivating thousands. In fact, they actually said they cultivated 2 million hectares of land, of farm, in 2024. In fact, it actually started in 2023. They claimed that they've cultivated 2 million hectares of land in northern Nigeria. They have done on a dry farming. There's something called dry farming. Can you call farming? From September 2023 to January 2025, I have not seen a single picture of any farm, federal government farm. Now, what they are now saying is that, in fact, it was, I think it was August last year, thiefnubu's Minister of Agriculture, he came up and he said, the price of food in Nigeria will crash in 180 days. That's 6 months. August, September, October, November, December, January. This is January. No, hang on. It wasn't August. I think he said that in July. Yeah, July. July, August, September, October, November, December. And this is January. There is no reduction in cost of food because there is no farm anywhere. They said thiefnubu empowered 240,000 farmers. Where are they? There is no farmers anywhere. There is no farm anywhere. Ona-ofun-nuga and the rest of them couldn't go to those farms, make some videos, and share with us and say, what exactly are you growing in those farms? You should be able to tell us. Rice? Millet? What are you growing on those, on that farm? Maize? Cassava? Agbado? Or what? Koolu? What are you growing on your farm? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. People are going to die of hunger in 2025.
And we are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, agbado, corn, in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption. For over 5 million army of boot camps, we create our food. That's money for the farmers. That's consumption for the soldiers and skill development. Don't call them illiterate. Don't talk about illiteracy. Anybody who can own gun, who can handle gun, who can cock gun and clean the chamber and cock and shoot is technically competent to repair a tractor in the farm. The farmer will make more money. Your lunch will not be imported. Cassava gari, the farmers will make money. The dinner will be cassava by
Turn the so-called Yahoo boys to experts in manufacturing and creation of chips that intercept an organ. That transmission line is a super highway. For generated electricity and power. They could not even make a down payment for a roasted corn. That.
So if you dare remind them of all of this, they will come blazing. So they have told Sanusi to shut up. It's your business. Better watch your mouth. This is not, they are saying it to Sanusi. They said, this is not Jonathan. No. You think you can make Nigerians to rise up against thiefnubu? You will realize that this is not Jonathan. We will not take any nonsense from you. And he is very right. Thiefnubu is surrounded by rogues, criminals, men and women of no integrity, because he doesn't have one himself. And if you do not have any criminal past, a very strong criminal past, you can't be in Thiefnubu's government, no? You can't. They believe they are doing you a big favor. And whatever it is that you are facing in that Nigeria right now, you don't understand. You have to be grateful to them. You have to be thankful. You understand? No, it's only thiefnubu that can take all these decisions. What decision? What decisions are you talking about? The decisions that impoverishes the people? What kind of decision? I don't know. Like, what kind of life is this? I don't think people are 100% like a dumb to actually see what is going on. They are not. You have the central bank of the country led by somebody who ran aground 3 different national banks. 3 banks died in the hands of Kadobi Oduduwa Emefiole. 3 banks died in his hand, and thiefnubu appointed him. He is a criminal himself. And who else is there? The one for the national planning or something is a former Abacha bagman, Bagudu. Surrounded by criminals. Because he is a criminal himself anyway, so, I mean, that shouldn't shock anybody. Then they continue to come out. If you dare say anything, they will attack you. Obi spoke. They said he's crossed the line. Obasanjo spoke. They attacked him. Everyone who says something. So now they are threatening Sanusi that don't think because of the appeal court ruling on this Kano matter is over. There is still Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is still there to rule on the Kano Emirate WAHALA. But they are threatening him. They are. I think in that same gathering. What is his name again? Oh, hang on before I even go back to that. So thiefnubu's Minister of Agriculture 2 days ago again called a press conference to roll out all these lies. This should get you really, really mad, but I'll stop it if you're tired of listening to the lies. But let it be on record that the Minister of Agriculture that promised Nigerians that the food will crash, the food prices will crash in 180 days is out to say the food prices have crashed in Nigeria. For those who went to Nigeria for 30 December, that is not what they experienced. In fact, food inflation in Nigeria right now is more than 500%. But how can anybody tell you that food inflation in Nigeria is 44%? When a bag of rice that used to be 7,500 naira, then jumped to 28,000, 25,000 naira under Bukuwari. And within a space of 20 months, it is now 99,000, 100,000, 120,000 naira. Is that 144%? Let's do the math. If they tell you that the food inflation is 44%, a bag of pure water used to be how much? Yeah, that bag of sachet water. 100 naira. Well, let's use 100 naira. How much is it today? I'll read the comment, don't worry. Before thiefnubu, crate of egg, 24 eggs in one crate was 600 naira. How much is it now? 6,000 naira. I know that one. Is that 44% increase? Because even if you say 50% inflation, today, that simply means that a crate of eggs should be 900 naira. It shouldn't be 6,000 naira. It should be 900 naira. That would be like, okay, 50% inflation. But you know that's not true. Listen to this guy.
24. From the reports that we have received around the country, we have considerable positive harvest. What I mean by positive harvest is that we have a harvest that far exceeds that of the previous year in all the major staple crops that we have cultivated during the wet season in 2024. Going forward, we also have engaged and have launched the dry season of 2024/2025. We launched the dry season in Calabar, Cross River State, in November. I think about November 14th, when we had the council, the National Agricultural Council in Cross River State. And for the first time, Cross River became a wheat producing state. And this is the first time we have gotten a southern state that joined the other 15 northern states that are wheat producing. It's a pilot scheme that we're going to have in the northern part of Cross River. And wheat is, of course, you know that it's a crop that is cultivated in cold times and under irrigation. And we also intend to, in addition to the dry season, we also intend to pilot wet season wheat cultivation in highland areas that are temperate, that are colder, places like Taraba State, Plateau State, and the same Cross River State. So we intend to this year also go into that. However, we have concluded that the government pays 75% of the seed amount. Then in terms of fertilization, it's also 50-50, just like we did the last year. 50% subsidy of fertilizer to the farmers. And we have about 98% of redemption. So that is to say we have almost reached the 300,000 farmers and 150,000 hectares of wheat. So that in itself, we're waiting for the vegetative growth and also subsequently the harvest sometime around March and April. There's a lot of enthusiasm and we have a lot of expectation in this year because the farmers have expressed their desire to go into wheat more than ever before, simply because the wheat is now becoming something that they're used to, and also the attraction in the profit and also what they can get out of wheat farming. We are also going to jumpstart the second phase, which is the rice cultivation. Rice cultivation in dry season takes place in irrigated areas for dry season, when the wet season is the whole country, 36 states plus FCT. But in this phase, we are starting end of this month and early February the southern parts of this country where there will be, we have already identified clusters where irrigation farming will take place, and between Alcom, which is the sub-dealer of John Deere in Nigeria, and that was signed, that also for 2,000 tractors at the cost of $70 million. No payment has been made so far on that one, but the dealer will have made an upfront payment, and as they come, as we get the shipments, then the upfront payment. And we're going to start by doing the all of nuisance lele.
That's what they do say to themselves, you know, like, we have the best harvest this year. Last year, I think November. So we had a very good harvest, and everything is cheaper now. If it is not cheap in your own state, don't worry. It will still get to you. It is, we are going to start the second phase. You say, okay, when did you do the first phase? When was the first phase of your... That's how they lie to them. Like, they boldly come to public and say it. Although I remember when they said they were sharing fertilizers. They were sharing fertilizers. The senators were given fertilizers to go and give to farmers in their own senatorial district. As the policy of thiefnubu, fertilizers shared by lawmakers or shared to lawmakers, and the lawmakers will go and give them to farmers as phase one. And then they came back with a report that says, man, this year we had a very, very huge harvest. We are now going ahead with the second phase. When did you do the first phase? Where are the farms? Where are the farms? There is no farm anywhere. Just know that if there is, these guys will plaster their farm, the pictures and the videos, they'll plaster everything all over the social media, because they have always been looking for validations that will make people believe them that something is actually going on. You know, that is the agriculture minister. So at that same gathering, or in that same gathering where Sanusi triggered the the PTSD nerve of the thiefnubu and the Ronukus, that they started threatening him, Falana was there too. And here is what he also said at that same gathering, briefly.
Bretton Woods and the African economies. Can Nigeria survive another structural adjustment program? Ladies and gentlemen, let's ask Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, as I invite him to the podium.
Your Royal Majesty, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're gathered here today to celebrate honor, to celebrate integrity and consistency. We're not here to celebrate Ghanai's wealth. He has some wealth. But what we're here for is to celebrate what he stood for. And I think we are going to live here today, determined as lawyers to shake the society. If Ghana were here today, he would have said, we have talked enough. Let's now move to the street. In 1986, SAP was imposed on the country. By the way, it was imposed at the instance of the IMF and World Bank. And Babangida said there was no alternative. A few of us sat down with Chief Awemi and he said, yes, we're going to have an alternative to SAP symposium. It was to take place at the NNC office in Yaba. At the 11th hour, it was cancelled. So we have to move to Chief Awemi's chambers. From there, he was alleged to have committed an offense. He, the late Daishulari and Wahab Gula were arrested. But from Panti, those two elderly men were released and Gani was taken away he landed in Gashua. He almost died there. Now, what we are doing today, this is democracy, much, much easier for us to struggle. Lawyers, led by the Keja branch, must decide today that we should change this renewed hope, or whatever they call it, which is not going to help our people. But as for us as lawyers, when we are gathered there, we must tell ourselves some basic home truths. Your Majesty, we want to congratulate you for your victory in the Court of Appeal. Your opponents say they are going to the Supreme Court as far as the law is concerned. And it's so certain. And this is where the NBA must come in. Where the law has been settled. That the traditional institution is not a fundamental right matter. So you can't say, as a traditional ruler, you are going to enforce your fundamental rights in court. 2, the court again has made the point that the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction on chieftaincy matters. So if some of our colleagues are deceiving their clients and they are causing problems in the country, the NBA owes it a duty, NBA owes it a duty to begin to intervene and call our colleagues to order. Your Majesty, wherever they are going, whether Supreme Court or wherever, you have come to stay. And we must only have one Emir in Kano. We can't have 2 Emirs in Kano, 2 speakers in Rivers. This confusion must stop. Thank you very much.
The SAP, Structural Adjustment Program, which also impoverished the citizens under Babangida so much that it entered the Guinness Book of Record. Guinness Book of World Record, I think. And that's exactly what thiefnubu and his gang are doing right now. They are forcing you into an economic strangulation that is taking you out one by one. And they are calling it an effort for your own good. We are doing it for you. We are doing this for you. You don't understand. We are doing it for you.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
Because there is none. But let's leave that for now and go to the National Assembly, where thiefnubu submitted a budget of hunger, a budget of corruption, budget of hopelessness. That's what I call it, because that's what it is. 48.9 trillion naira or 49 trillion naira is the budget that thiefnubu submitted to the National Assembly. However, there are so many things missing, but we don't want to talk about the missing stuff. But we want to talk a little bit about the discrepancies, which the supposed appropriation committee of the National Assembly discovered when they were having one-on-one with the police IG today. That has gone viral, by the way. I don't know if you have seen the video. So I have a clip here. The police IG came prepared. Supposedly, police is representing the police, which means the police budget. He came with his own copy. While he was there reading from his own copy of the supposed submitted budget by thiefnubu, the guys there were like, the members of the committee, they were like, excuse me, what are you reading? Like, sorry, are you reading the same budget proposal that we have a copy here, Mr. Police Officer? No, this is not right. Then the chairman of the committee, Senate committee, was like, hey, no, it's okay. If you don't have the copy, we'll give it to you later. Meanwhile, you see, to defend your budget, right? if any ministry, agency, or parastatal needs to defend their budget for approval at the National Assembly, right? So what they would do is that these committees, right, they will be able to ask questions either on the last budget and then on this current one. They can ask questions on the implementation and what have you, okay, like normal. And therefore, they must have a copy so that if they want to have, if they have any question, they must raise their question based on the available copy of their budget proposal. That's how it's done. So one of them was like, this is not looking right. What is it reading? Sorry, Mr. Police, are you reading the same one that they gave us, or there is another one? And so WAHALA started, right? Let me share the first part with you. Between the police IG and the Senate or the senators.
Mr. Chairman, Mark Eset is my name from Akwa Ibom State. Okay, point over that, Mr. Chairman. Am I recognized, Mr. Chairman? Thank you very much. I am from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if I'm the only person, but I doubt. What the IGP is reading is quite different from the document we have in. No, sir, we are all here for budget.
Very important, please.
It's very, very important that whatever they are presenting, all members will be acquainted with it. You can't give me a copy after this. It's not the same thing. The details are not here, like the zonal offices he has mentioned. They are not captured here.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Please, Senator, please. Take it easy. It is our decision within the leadership of this committee to allow IG to summarize his presentation.
No, Chairman, we're not in a hurry. We are not in a hurry. We must do the right thing.
We are not in the chamber. You are there to wait for a collective. You have it.
It's not in this copy. What is written is
a new copy was sent to you. Check and see it. If you just have a copy, ask for the copy.
Yeah.
This is not a big deal. You ask for the copy. The copy is there available.
Mr. Chairman,
There is a point of
I'm still on the floor. I'm still on the
Senator.
floor, Mr. Chairman.
We need the opinion of all the members. Can we allow IG to proceed with what is reading?
No, we don't have it. We don't have
Have it, please.
Then I will leave. I will leave the copy. What are we reading now? What do you want to do? Leave. We are acting in the head. Leave.
Mr. Chairman, please go. Mr. Chairman, point of order, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Deputy Chief Whip. Deputy Chief Whip. Deputy Chief Whip. Deputy Chief Whip. Mr. Chairman.
Point of order, please. Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues. We are here to serve Nigerians. And Nigerians should see us as a very serious institution. We are not against the presentation of the IGP, but I, as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, should have what the IGP is reading. Yes. Exactly. Please let me finish. I represent a senator of this country. What the IGP is reading is different from what I have. And I'm going to ask questions. Let me finish.
Before you finish, I'm the chair of the list.
You know, like, no, we decided that you should summarize. When did you decide? Because you see that National Assembly, forget about the theater, the old drama. All right? The ones that are screaming, they are not screaming because they want to be responsible to Nigerians. No. What happened is that somehow, they feel slighted and shortchanged. Whatever arrangements that took place between the police IG And this chairman or the leader of that committee, they have been left out of it. And they are not going to agree to that. Because the reason why majority of them are lawmakers is not because they want to go and make laws. They are businessmen. So if you are appointed as member of any committee, you have to kind of milk it, make so much money from it. And the only time they all make money that cannot be traced back to them, is when they are doing budgeting. That is when they usually pad the budget, insert all kind of fake projects into the budget. So if police IG and police commission and the committee that is questioning the budget, if they have had an agreement and some members of the committee are not putting the no, that is like they've missed it this year. And if they don't scream, they will not cash out when the budget is finally approved. So better will scatter everything right now. Don't tell us that you are the one. What do you mean by you have agreed that the police IG should summarize? Summarize, Kenny, what do you mean? Part 2.
I said, take a copy. Take that
All that, please. Please, Senator, please. You are recognized.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, we are here to serve Nigerians. And Nigerians should see us as a very serious institution. We are not against the president of the IGP, but I, as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, should have what the IGP is reading. Exactly. Please let me finish. I represent what the IGP is reading is different from what I have.
Order, please, order, before you finish. I'm the chair, please. Please let us take it easy. It is our decision within the leadership of this committee to allow IG to summarize his presentation. Excuse me. Order, please. Yes. Please, there is a point of order. Excuse me, there is a point of order for the senators. We need the opinion of all the members. Can we allow IG to proceed with what is reading? For the House service, please. Please respect the chair, please. You have to hold that. You are recognized. Yes, go ahead, please. Yes.
I think we are parliament. We work based on the vision of our households and the guiding principle that is guiding the conduct of our activities. We cannot portray to Nigerians by acting on emotion. There was emotion. If the Inspector General of Police is reading an abridged version of his speech, It is born out of our parliamentary procedures through a standing motion, through a motion move, through a decision. And members unanimously agree that the Inspector General of Police should be we must be recognized to speak. What we are displaying is what Nigerians does not even want. As a member of the House of Representatives, there is a procedure for you to be recognized, to speak, not to be interjecting unnecessarily. That is one. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, the procedures of sitting, he has made presentation regarding to 2024, and it is embedded in the speech circulated to us for those of us that came here on time. What we need to do after his presentation, everybody reserve the constitutional right to ask questions. But at this level that we are jumping upon, it means we are preempting. If you have problem, Senator or House of Reps, that have a personal problem with the Nigerian police, should not be addressed in this way.
That was between them. No, last, the chairman and of the committees, right? They had their way. The police IG still read what he had to read and he walked away. By the time the budget is finally approved, it would have become loaded, pregnant. From the 48.9 trillion is coming out at over 50 trillion. So you want to bet it? How many of you want to do a let's cost bet it? You remember that thing that we usually do when we're younger? Say let's convert it. Let's convert it. Now 48.9 trillion thiefnubu submitted. Normally, the job of the National Assembly is to now remove irrelevance from the budget, streamline it to what is really reasonable. Remove buying cars, buying computers, the same thing they bought last year, they are buying this year, and they, just inflated prices and all of that. So anybody who wants to cost bet it, no cost bet like this. By the time they will do their approval, the budget will be like 52 trillion or 53 trillion. Watch out. In 2022, it was discovered that after Bukwari submitted the budget to the National Assembly, they inserted 3,617 fake projects into the budget, which estimated to be 1.7 or so trillion naira. In 2023, over 4,000 fake projects was inserted in 2024 budget, 2023 budgets, totaling over 2 trillion naira. In 2024, over 5,700 fake projects were inserted in the last year budget, totaling over 6 trillion naira fake projects. It is called padding. Under Bukwari, a Kano lawmaker that exposed budget padding was removed and suspended. You remember him, Jibrin or something from Kano. It was suspended for almost a year for daring to expose budget padding. Last year, 2024, another senator that exposed budget padding was also suspended by Akpabiole for 3 months at least for daring to expose budget padding, running into over 3 trillion naira. The guy was there today. This time around, they were probing and questioning the budget of the Ministry of Housing that never really built any houses per se. But they have billions, hundreds of billions in budget every year.
Dr. You are welcome. Mr. President, we have waited for today, and we have waited for this moment. Mr. Chairman, how I wish it's not the state minister that is in our midst today. How I wish it's the minister. The Minister of Housing, even though the permanent secretary is new, the state minister is new, thought the only role of the National Assembly is this yearly ritual. Bring the budget, and then nothing happens until next year. And this is exactly what the Ministry of Housing does under the President's leadership. First, I have not seen the components. Today is a budget defense. All that the minister led was the capital component. That is one angle, that's one leg. We have not seen the personnel, we have not heard about the overhead. So what you are bringing today for defense is actually the capital component, and therefore the committee must arrange for you to also bring in the overhead and the personnel, which we found in the course of budget defenses that have been very much abused. I'm not saying it's abused here. I want you to look at your presentation on page 2. On page 2, Mr. Minister. Summary of capital cost allocation and utilization. On the table, you have 100 billion appropriated. You have amount released, 100 billion. You have utilization, 77 billion. And the percentage of utilization is 77.3%. But the next outstanding application, the outstanding appropriation, you have it at 22.6 billion. No, it's not an outstanding appropriation. It's outstanding utilization. It's utilization. That means in your kitty, you have 22 billion that you have not spent. So I would like you to acknowledge that. Then you open your page 3, and you say 40, status of the renewal hope agenda. And Mr. Chairman, by your living me, renewed hope housing estates and cities program in the current transformation development agenda aim at addressing housing needs and social inequality by providing a broad range of affordable house ownership options in Nigeria. And then you go ahead on 401, the aim, status of national housing program. The aim of the national housing program is to provide accessible, affordable housing to the growing population of the country. This effort is an attempt to solve the challenges of housing deficit in the country. A total of 7,522 housing units spread in all 35 states of the Federation and FCT have been under construction, and out of which 3,388 units are completed, while 4,134 units are still ongoing. See details at the 6 and 5. This is music to our ears. But these are very strange figures to us. I'm from Bauchi State. I represent Bauchi State. I don't know why you are doing this project. I don't know how. Here I am representing the very good people of Bauchi Central, which is one side of the state. I've been here for close to 1.5 years as a senator. I have no knowledge at all on this renewed hope agenda. Is this renewed hope only to you or to Nigerians? Even as you are not reporting details of what you are doing, are you reporting details to Nigerians? Do Nigerians know about some of these things? Ostensibly, this is supposed to cure deficit and probably bring some political mileage to the administration. I'm not an NNPC member, but I thought this program is cardinal, it's important, and that's why the president paid attention to it. But along the line, I'm not sure you're doing justice to him. And I raised this question and asked my colleagues, members of the Senate, whether or not they are aware of the establishment of this ongoing project, they are aware of the completed project, they are aware of the size of this project. So, former Speaker and the Minister, you are...
Anyway, let me save you the rest, okay? So what the guy is practically pointing out is to look at their last year budget, how much they were approved, and how much they spent, and how much is expected to be left. You see, this is the fraud, okay? Normally, when you get budget approval, and then the funds is released, by the end of the year, if you don't finish spending the money, you have to return every kobo left to the national purse. You have to, because the following year, you have a budget that is going to be approved and the money will be released again. But thiefnubu and his gang, in that their same Senate house, they extended the operational lifeline of the 2024 budget to June 2025, allowing these ministries to continue, right, to spend the money. So the guy pointed that out. Then he went on to say, oh, you claim that you have a national housing project, which means when you say something is national housing project, that means you are building houses across the country. That is what national housing project means. However, you claim to have completed 3,400 or something houses. But that's what they normally do. If you ask them, you should be more specific. We have built 3,400 houses. And here are where the houses are built. 500 houses in Abuja, 200 houses in so area in Lagos, 400 houses in so area in Jigawa, 200 houses built in so area in Port Harcourt, River State. But they don't do that. They just say, and if you go and check, they will just say, thiefnubu National Housing Program. thiefnubu has completed 10,000 houses. So where are the houses? Then you discover that they have an housing project in Gusape, Abuja. And when you get there, you barely see 20 houses. But the document will show that they have completed 10,000 houses. Now, you won't see 10,000 houses. But the hundreds of billions of naira that they claim to have spent, gone. That's how they run it. You see, normally, before these guys showed up, if the National Assembly are doing their job, what they would have done, like the media in Nigeria, what they would have done would be to go and check all those projects. It's called oversight, Abi. Go and check all the projects and say, okay, we have sent our people to one of your projects, the one you claim to have completed in Abuja. And there is not even up to 100 houses there. But your document says that you have completed 5,000 houses. Like, what are you talking about? No. So it will now turn to back and forth arguments between them and all that stuff. Just like this mofo in charge of the NNPC, that criminal, Meleki Yari, the man that was supposed to be in jail, the guy that spent $4.5 billion rehabilitating Nigerian refineries, only for him to come back and say, the working refineries now do not actually refine crude oil. I mean, sorry, does not refine petroleum PMS. The same, and you see the fraud they carried out. This is where I know that Nigeria is irredeemable. And if you want to define a state capture, what APC, what they have done to Nigeria is no other thing than a state capture. Let me explain. When I was growing up, NNPC is considered the parastatal of the government because NNPC, Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, is an institution that is created by law. And it has one single mandate And that mandate is to handle Nigeria's oil sector, not just to handle it that way, right? When we say handle it, NNPC is in charge of selling Nigeria crude oil and then remitting the money. You hearing me? Remitting the money of the crude oil sales to the federation accounts. They do not have any other job than once they collect the royalty of the crude oil sales, they will give the money to the central bank. And by law, they will share the money. That is what NNPC is. NNPC is not a business entity. It is not a profit-making entity, the way they set it up. Then Boko Haram happened. Appointed the Mele Kyari. And overnight, they now said they have created what they call the NNPCL. And it is a limited liability company. That people actually bought shares, but nobody buy any shares. So that means they created a private business out of a public institution. Then they now gave that entity, they now gave it a role that is not for any reason given to it by the law. As lawless as Nigeria is, by the way, the role of NNPCL is 100% fraud and illegal, but it has been existing. Now here, NNPC, who was supposed to be selling Nigeria crude oil, remitting money, suddenly is not really relevant anymore. Person where they appointed as the GMD, Group Managing Director of NNPC, that's the position of GMD, Group Managing Director of NNPC, turned himself to CEO of NNPCL. And they now said, there are shareholders. We don't know them. Or somehow they have shareholders. Whereby this NNPCL is now the one selling Nigeria crude oil. And as a business, they have to take their own cuts before they give the rest of the money to NNPC. And NNPC will now give the money to the central bank. Then suddenly, nobody knows anymore how much of Nigeria crude oil is sold every month anymore. How much NNPC is remitting every month anymore. Under Boko Haram, they will sometimes go for months without remitting any shishi. But they are pumping crude oil in Nigeria every day. Yeah, they are pumping crude oil every day. And then you will hear breaking news. NNPC just remitted $1.2 billion. This is going to be the money from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, in September. Then you start reading news like NNPCL is owing remittance money. How? They now created another thing again within the space. When these guys, before they came in, Nigeria was paying subsidy of around 250 billion and 400 billion naira. Naira or not dollars, so naira every year. Then when these criminals came in, Nigeria started spending between 2.5 and 4 trillion naira on subsidy. So these guys now said the reason why they couldn't remit money to Nigeria was because since it is the NNPCL who was supposed to be the only sole importer of finished product to Nigeria. So they are now like using the money that was supposed to be the money from crude oil sales. They are now using it to pay subsidy to oil importers. The scam runs so deep for straight 8 years under Bukuari. They had to cover it up. They had to be printing money. Immediately, they had to print money so that they could share the money every month to the states and local governments. Meanwhile, the money they were supposed to be sharing was supposed to come from taxes collected, as well as the money from the crude oil sales. But there is no money from crude oil because according to this Mele Kyari, they have to use the money to pay subsidy. But they robbed Nigeria for 8 straight years. In the process, the guy spent over $4.5 billion renovating or rehabilitating the moribund refineries in Nigeria. I have never seen any audacious criminals. If it was in China, they were supposed to don't shoot the guy or hang him. But it is Nigeria, where the scam, the fraud runs so deep that when thiefnubu came on board, all they did was just to say, Oga, give us the name of the people you want to be the beneficiaries. And that's exactly what he did. Remove those ones where Bukuari gave the slot to those ones thiefnubu wanted to grab the money. And that is why Ohando of the thiefnubu moved from a 77 billion naira 77 billion naira oil company to now over 3 trillion naira worth of a company within just 1 year. And he became the owner of a blending refinery in Malta. And guess what? Nigerians didn't know any of this, or they probably don't even understand. How did NNPC become NNPCL? How did that become a private company? And the person that was employed, appointed as GMD of NNPC, how did he become a CEO? What law created that? What is Nigerians' shares in NNPCL? The MOFO now came out and said Nigerians should be grateful to them because they are the highest taxpayers. NNPCL is the highest taxpayer. They gave Nigeria 10 trillion naira last year. Are you mad? Are you actually mad? How can Nigeria be grateful to you for managing their crude oil sale? 10 trillion naira. How much is that? It's not up to 2 billion. It's up to $2 billion. Okay, let's kind of move it up. $4 billion. Does that mean that throughout 2024, the total crude oil sold by Nigeria was $4 billion? They did an auditing of NNPC. And what they found was that in 2024 alone, 2 reports. First, 313 billion naira unaccounted for. Second, 514 billion naira unaccounted for. But this mofo had the audacity to grab a microphone and say Nigeria should be grateful to him and he wouldn't mind any audit. External auditor. There is already an external auditing that is public. Why is this guy not arrested? Well, it's because it is Nigeria, the den of criminals.
As you call Mr. Chairman, we're a private company, so we do quarterly accounts. And by the end of September, I can confirm to you that NNPC's contribution is 10 trillion naira of revenues to the Federation. This I can give you the breakdown. There are corporate taxes. There are payments to NUPRC for operations. There are assets under management that we are handling for you, that's the PSC assets. There are also indirect taxes collected by us and paid to the FIRS. and also dividends that were paid to shareholders on monthly basis, and also other employee-related taxes and other statutory payments that we make. So we have numbers around this, and I'll also make fiscal submission to you on this. And I must point out, at this point, Mr. Chairman, that NNPC did many things on behalf of the Federation by virtue of the provisions of the PIA. And I must repeat this, Mr. Chairman. The PIA said that NNPC is the supplier of last resort to the Federation. It said that NNPC must continue to provide energy security for the country at a cost to the Federation. So the law is very, very clear. As you recall, price adjustment for petroleum motor spirit, or PMS, only came to finality some months ago, as you recall, until 1st of October 2024. Prior to this and post the deregulation environment, there were clear reasons, and we understand this and we accept this. There are clear reasons why price adjustment could not be fully effected until 1st of October. Maybe this is not the right platform to speak about, but we completely agree that there was clear basis for us to maintain certain prices until the 1st of October. And this, of course, is at the cost to the Federation and to the rest of us. And ultimately, we could not remit the taxes and royalties, when they are due, because the obligation to balance the price of the PMS is such that the overall fiscal obligation of the company does not cover it. This is currently a subject of reconciliation between us and the Federation, represented by all the stakeholders, including the tax collector, the NUPRC, the Federation account, the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Committee, so that at the end, we will establish a net position between us and the Federation, so that whoever is in the negative will settle the other one. It's either they write a check for us or we write a check for them. This will be the final outcome of this. But as speaks this, I would boldly say that the net position today is that the Federation is owing NNPC Limited. And this will be a subject of reconciliation, and we are also proposing that not just end with the reconciliation, we are also requesting that forensic audit be conducted so that to establish that position between us and the Federation and as a company. We'll be very happy to cooperate with either this committee or the Federation or FAC or any institution that is interested to conduct a forensic audit of this so that at the end we have the real numbers to deal with. Otherwise, we have reported everything we have done. Our taxman is here. Perhaps if not for the subsidy issue, we know clearly by every standard and records, NNPC is the highest tax-paying institution in the country, and we are very proud of this. And also the highest payer of royalties to the Federation, and also the highest payer of dividends from any business. Very understandable also. We are an $80 billion company, we understand this. But we are meeting all our obligations. We proudly say
$80 billion company, NNPC Limited. You mad, man? Eh? Like you turned a public liability corporation or something to a company for some people as shareholders, and their job is to use Nigeria money to set yourselves up, gives yourselves shares, so that every money that comes through the crude oil, licensing, royalty, and the rest of that, you will take a cut. Like how? Why? Eh? Now you are declaring yourself as the highest taxpayer. Are you, I mean, like, Baba, you know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It is Nigeria. If they explain Nigeria to you and you understand, and you're not mad, they don't explain it well. You could sharp mad shani. Like this guy that went to go and buy, you know, they say today, usually when you, before thiefnubu, you could fill your tank, your car tank with 15,000 naira. and that would be the full tank, or maybe 20,000 naira. Today, you will need, for that same car, you probably will need like 90,000 to 120,000 naira to fill the same car. Imagine now you go somewhere to actually fill your tank, and it says that they have sold you 35,000 naira worth of PMS, which they didn't. This guy go crazy, man.
I show you say you put 35,000 naira for me. My gauge don't move. How did you do it? How did you do it? Answer me. Did they pump air inside my motor? Where's the manager of this place? Huh? The same thing happened to you. Ah! Because you are going to police station today. You must tell me the racket that they do for this place. So it say I don't know. That's why you for cheat me this morning. Why?
Bro, give me this money. Give me that uniform. No, big.
So this is not the first time this is happening here. You pick the fucking wrong person to do this rubbish with. Asshole. If you don't know your money is gone. How much did you put for? 32,000. Okay, let me start my car. Jesus! Full tank. Jesus. And if you put 35, this gauge don't move.
God have mercy upon us.
But why do they do like this here? Why?
Jesus. Imagine. You know the gauge of your car, right? The meter. Oh, my car is almost empty. Now, I need to go and top it up. And you drove into a filling station, and it says your bill is 32,000. You say, 30 kini. The, what do you call it? The gauge in my car is not, didn't even move. How are you doing it? I've been hearing, were you pumping here into my car? How? Anyway, again, it is a place where majority are actual criminals trying to take advantage of you. And they don't see it as a crime. They call it hustle. They call it hustling, yeah. Or sometimes they will say they are smart. In this Nigeria, you must be smart. If not, they go smart. I'll smart you. Or say, no, that's criminal. That's not being smart. You know, being smart is to do things right, excellently, not criminally or illegally, and call that being smart. And there are people who actually fall victims of this. And that's how some of them actually really survive in that contraption. Going illegal way, robbing people, and all of that, because normally their take-home pay cannot take them home. Yeah, you see some of them going everywhere, every day, preparing to go to work. I say, where are you going? I'm going to work. I'm already late for work. When you now check how much they are being paid, you say, how are you surviving? How? Me, I know they spend my salary. Salary care. If not salary, I not supposed to do that job. But we thank God. God, they show us the way. Because they have a way of extorting people, robbing people every day. And then when they are caught, they will blame the devil. Oh God, please, oh God, please, not the devil. Oh God, not the devil, please forgive me, not the devil. I get family, I get wife, I get children, please, I beg forgive me. They'll blame the devil. But you'll be wondering, how will they survive? Nigeria is a place where they will tell you that somebody is being owed salaries of 4 months, 5 months, and they are still going to that place. Why are you going there? You are going to a job, a place of work where they are not paying you, but you're still going there. Why? I don't say one day they will pay me. What do you mean one day they will pay you? How are you surviving? We thank God and grace of God. God gets ways of God cannot leave his own children. You are a criminal. If your mama or your papa be one of them, they'll be criminals. It's a place where, honestly, man, and it's normalized. All abnormalities are normalized in that place. Can somebody be going to a war? You're going to a job, you've not been paid for 7 months, 8 months. And every morning you are there. I'm late for work. I'm late for which work? Because they are going there using that same work as a cover to extort people, to rob people, to cheat people, to do all of that to survive every day. So this is what they call the grace of God. In most places in that contraption, grace of God, robbing people. You walk into a store, you make your purchase. It's time to pay. No, the staff will give you another account. Pay into this account, ma. So why? Because our main account is not working. Please pay here. Send the money to this account. They are robbing their own employer. And they call it being smart. Whenever they are caught, they will blame the devil. I can imagine how devil actually feels. Like devil is there, minding his own business, trying to figure out who is going to go and possibly make lose their heaven tickets. He's still there. And then boom. They've arrested somebody who just cheated someone. So it's not my fault, it's the devil. I can't imagine the shock on the face of the devil all the time when Nigerians uses the devil as the excuse for their bad behaviors, their criminal actions or activities. So please forgive me, it's the devil. Me? No, it's not me. Imagine devil saying, hey, no, if you can hear the devil, most of the time say, okay, no, it's not me. I don't know anything about it. So it's the devil. It's the devil, please forgive me. It's the devil. Which devil? No, it's not me. It's not me. I have not done anything. I don't know this guy. But whenever they are not caught, and they are being smart. I'm God of smart. I know they touch my salary. They say that with so much pride. They say, I know they touch my salary. Salary care. How much did they pay me? It is in a salary. I take build this house. I take buy my car. I take open the shop for my wife. If not, how much did they pay us? They taking change that they pay us. But that place, that place is a very good place to work. You go make money. You don't go touch your salary. What do you mean by that? Because you are going to be criminal. And they call it grace of God. How many of you watching me right now is guilty of that? Because where I live, you have to work for every penny. Yeah, you have to. And, wherever you make is what you have to use in running your life. There is no extra anywhere. How many of you are guilty of that? Let's be honest. Just using that as somewhere to kind of give you the sober reflection. Just think about that. Your own part in all of this mess. Cheating one another. Thinking you are smart. Your criminal politicians are also doing the same. Majority of you are doing yours in your small corner of your own small place and all that. Except you are caught. Then you blame the devil. Not devil, not devil. Which devil? I wish I actually have a relationship with the devil and tell the devil that, bros, why you not feel they slap people once in a while? You say, God, no be me, not devil, just slap it. What's apple? The devil slap me because I lied against devil. Because that's what you do. Because you are the real devil, like your criminal politicians. The real devil. But on the side, what do you call them? Nigerian Governors Forum. They have released their own statements concerning thiefnubu's tax reform. And according to them, thiefnubu should, use this formula for his tax reform, because this one is going to be in the interest of the North. And not just that, it is also in the interest of Nigeria. All right? They also said that thiefnubu should not increase, VAT, the one that they plan to increase to 7 to 10% this year. If the first 2 quarters of this year, they will increase your VAT to 10%. Then they will increase it to 20% before the end of the year. So, whatever shege you are facing in that contraption right now, this is just the beginning. What is coming is worse than what you are facing right now. I'm not the one wishing it on you. Okay? So I'm just giving you the real reality. A reality check. Right? So they are telling thiefnubu not to increase the VAT. Share the money that is coming in right now in such a way that they can still use population in sharing the money. Equality can be 50% instead of 60%. Equality simply means that, you know, they will share the money equally. It doesn't matter your population. So whatever Bayelsa gets is what Kano will get. You get what I mean now? And then the derivation is how much everybody puts in the jar will determine how much you are going to get, which is 60%, and all of that stuff. So one of them was on the channels with Shehu this evening. Sule Nasarawa.
A wonderful day for Nigeria. Congratulations to Nigeria. Because at the end of the day, we have achieved something through consultations. First, congratulations to Mr. President for actually guiding us through the process. When we met with Mr. President recently, you know, he said that most of these observations you have, you can actually go ahead and amend them without necessarily withdrawing the bill. You remember the contentious issues that we have as far as the bill is concerned is one on the VAT. Two, on the VAT is combination of so many issues, but one on the VAT. Secondly, you know, the other issue that we have, and we continue to mention it, is the aspect of saying that as far as Naseni, Ted Fund, and the rest of that were actually going to be phased out, we express big concerns as far as those areas are concerned. You know, so, and then we came back about the sharing formula of the VAC itself, you know, where we were saying that about 60% of it was going to be taken and kept aside and be paid to based on derivation. And I think that's where the heated debates are. So at the end of the day, I thank God Almighty that they have been, the Tax Reform Committee, you know, chaired by both Taiwo Oyedele and Zach Adedeji, understood our positions based on what Mr. President has said. And I remember appearing on your program, you know, recently when I said, the moment Mr. President said you can go and make changes, I am perfectly okay, I'm satisfied. We are going to wait for the day of they are going to have the meeting, and we will present them. And today we presented them, and definitely they accepted them, and everybody was relieved. And the people who were calling us names are now to be the ones who will understand whether what we were saying makes sense or not.
So let's clear the air about, first and foremost, before I get deep into the meat of the matter, the politics of it. Would this affect the North negatively?
The way it's presented today, it should affect the North positively. The reason why I'm telling you that, one of the biggest things that the North, all over the North, are fighting for, and that's what we initiated and we were fighting, is a situation where you said you are going to increase VAT from the 7.5% today that is there to 10% this year, in fact starting this month, and then to 12.5%, and then to 15%, which means you are going to double it. We were concerned that by doing that, it was going to actually increase the huge inflation that we have at the moment. The inflation of Nigeria today is about 34%. And what I was explaining earlier today is that this 34% is actually in the states where I lived and worked for, say like Lagos. But if you move to the deep north, it's far more than 34%. It's maybe somewhere around maybe 50% even. So it is the average that they take about, because in the north, we are not so lucky with the planning in the past to have industries, to have people who can work, to have people who can have purchasing power, to have people who can do that. So it will affect them the moment you increase VAT, because prices of items will increase. And so the people cannot afford. So a lot of people will actually go and live without the rice, without the sugar, without all the other things that attract VAT. Today, I'm the happiest person.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The job people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
We must learn a lesson. This man!
You're gonna trust man, Adam, Ojo, your eyes will see what your mouth cannot talk.
We shall see. So right now, the Ronukus are already pouncing on that. Because according to them, no. The thiefnubu must implement the one that he proposed. Make the northern Nigeria go look for another means of making money. They should not agree to this. So, however, we are waiting to see how it plays out. Like he said, forget about tax reform or whatever it is that they are still dragging. Your VAT goes up to 10% this month in January. Then by March or April, it goes on to 12.5%. By June 2025, it goes on to 15%. By December 2025, it should be around there, 20%. This is just the beginning. Bokwari, fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
Going to something else. Talking about the Ronukus, they are always get triggered whenever anyone speaks the truth to this illegitimate regime or criticizes them. Or you say something they don't like, which they have now been using to kidnapping everyone that says anything they don't like. They kidnap them, lock them up, and then charge them for treason. They charge them for treason. Treasonable felony is, death sentence in you. If you are found guilty of a treason, you will be killed. Now, this is the offer that thiefnubu, the progressive, and his fellow criminals, Ronukus, the bad idiots, the bastards, wishes on anyone. Because according to them, if you are criticizing thiefnubu or condemning thiefnubu's illegitimate regime, you are inciting the public against the government. You are asking the Nigerians to rise up against the government. So the government in return can actually charge you for treason and get you killed. So one of them asked these dumb questions from Dore yesterday. His answer should possibly be a lesson. Bring out your notebook and your pen. Ronuku, write this down.
So I want to understand what you mean by freedom of speech being gagged. Because, okay, for example, let's assume I'm a content creator and I put up my phone or set up a camera and give up fake news out there, and which can lead to chaos or violence. And I get picked up by government. Is that freedom of speech being gagged? I really want to understand that part. Thank you.
And I would like to answer this. I don't want another question to be on top of this. And that's why I said impunity is what we must not encourage. So if you put your phone out, right, and you decide that you want to lie about something that didn't happen, what every responsible government do in the world, and why they hired all the special assistants and the senior special assistant, junior special assistant advisors in the world, is because it's the job of government to respond and say, this is not true. This is true situation offense. If the TikToker or the content creator then decides, if the government decides that the content creator violated the laws of the land, the best they can do is to sue the person take the person to a civil trial. And I've said it before that the government people, if you look at the preponderance of lies, false news, fake news, it's government that perpetrate fake news the most. And I'm not saying it as a cliche. It's the truth. So if you take the TikToker or whomever it is to court, the person has to somehow defend themselves and defend their position. But the job of government is, with all the resources at its disposal, is to tell the truth to the people. If someone says there is tsunami in Lagos, are you getting me? And it has killed half of Lagos. The government of Lagos has official handles on Twitter and said, it's a lie. There's no tsunami. People will believe it, they will start going about their normal businesses. Are you getting my point? But the truth is that how many of these TikTokers are there in the country enough that the country must devote its police force, everybody in the police, to go and arrest the person? How, for instance, does Dele Farotimi write in a book that the judiciary is corrupt, which is true? Why should it lead to the police deploying from Ekiti to come arrest him from Lagos and charge him for offensive publication, which is a criminal offense, whereas writing a book is not a criminal offense? How did Olamide saying that because of the killings at Lekki Tollgate, that Tinubu's children will suffer the same fate? How's that a crime? So we must define what is a crime and what is not a crime. There was because I'm talking to you as someone who participated a lot in media. I've been a reporter myself. So one of the things I do when people send me information is to check whether they are true or not, or call the other side. But in arrogance, government will never answer you until the thing has degenerated. So they are to blame for some of these issues. But you tell me, right? This fake news that they are shouting, where is it that in Nigeria's history, or let's say in the last 5 years, that somebody on TikTok telling fake news has killed somebody, or has led to a stampede, or has led to the collapse of the Nigerian economy, or has led to increase in prices of foods, goods and services, or has led to the decrease in anything or crime? None. But government wants to distract your attention by saying that, a TikToker just said that Shein Tinubu should die. And as a result, we're arresting her, we're flying her to Abuja, take her before a federal high court judge, and the judge sentences her to, denies her bail or gives some bail conditions that are ridiculous. She's sent to prison, she comes back out. That's all we have ever heard. That's the impact. That's the only impact I've heard about fake news. I've not had any instance, and I'm saying it now, you can prove me wrong, where fake news, as they call it, caused any country's economy to decline. But,
all right, Mr.
but fake governments and
fake
government officials have done all these damages, and we don't arrest them.
All right, absolutely. Thank you very much. I hope that answers questions. Let's take
Since when I born, you never seen this kind of abuse before. Turubu, I must abuse you. Turubu, number 1, Oguokiyapa. Turubu number 2, Oguokiyama. Turubu number 3, Oguokiya your children. Turubu number 4, Ogugo bury all your family. Turubu is a goat, yo. A goat, yo. Turubu is a goat, yo. Ewausa.
Turubu is a goat, yo. A goat, yo. Turubu is a goat, yo. Ewausa. Let the Ronukus go and Ronuku, because that's actually what you would do, the Ronu Nazis. People with a fragile ego. People who are so scared of their own shadows, because they believe that once the oppressed, impoverished, brutalized Nigerian snaps. That is the end. The destruction, their own destruction, right, will be so monumental that those they claim to be afraid of them, if they snap one day, and they are so worried of that, rather than deliver dividend of democracy, good governance to these people, they continue to perpetuate the misgovernance, as well as the state institutionalized criminality, hoping that they will be in charge and control for as long as they want. So they are scared of their own shadow, who will kill all of you one by one. I mean, Oshio, don't look at me, you know. Meanwhile, let's go to another thing again. But here in Delta states, where Sheriff is their governor, put up his own theatrical show of publicly rebuking a government contractor that was given a job to build the markets and has been doing a shoddy job. So this video made it to the internet earlier today. Watch this.
Issue the contractor query. Is this job a good one? No.
It's not.
No, wait, don't put the paper. Physical.
Yes, it's not.
You put the paper with paper.
No, that's the same thing I want to show you.
Don't show me. No, I'm seeing this one now. No, is it a good job?
No.
It
is not.
Come on, lose this on This is it a project signboard? No. Is it a project signboard? No. Issue the contractor query. Issue the contractor query. You see how the course give us bad name? You put a church, you see that Christ Holy Church. You come and put your flags, and there's a provision. Government make provision for signposts. Now, because I'm coming to the site, when I did a flash and tie it,
yeah.
See the casting. See the casting. No, make sure it again. Put it again. Put it again. Put it again. Why don't you? Now bring it back. No. You can't be doing this job. Look at the job now. The quality of job here. You see it? Is it the same size? Is it a good work as an engineer? As I mean, get on the microphone.
No, sir. No, sir.
You tried to be smart when I came here. See now, go and inspect outside. I have eyes that I can see what you're doing. Is it government? Engineer, see the casting there. See the casting. No, it's so annoying. Look at the level. Look at the level. Say bad word. Can no, give him the microphone. Give him the tape. Give him the tape.
wait. Come back now.
Thank God, I never hear
That's here. Come. Huh? 20 this year. This year. That one how many? 10. Come. So, is this? See the bad work. So you want the agency and service work?
No,
No,
we'll make the correction, sir.
Eh?
As I said, we'll make the correction before the end of the month. Issue of rising cost of Nigerian. I'm seeing you.
Number one, it must, it must be certain that to become a contractor to these guys, you must have political affiliation to them. Because from the contract itself, there's always a kickback from the person that is awarding them. So you see that show off of why would you do this kind of job? You shouldn't do this kind of job, blah, 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 is to be seen to be working. Unfortunately, there's likely not going to be anything different per se. And look at that place. They were supposed to be constructing a road. And then they have this underground sewage system, like underground drainage system, sort of. Should that one look like? Well, it is just similar to what Wahab Wole Wole does in Lagos. It was somewhere around Iyanopaja or somewhere it's called in Lagos yesterday, doing similar thing. Let me show you.
Major, sir, how's it going, right, sir? Everything should go. I want to see transparently under the clothes, both sides, read everything out. I'm not going to file it.
Yes, sir. Let's go, please. I don't know.
Yes, sir. You pray from the other side.
Yes, sir.
Let us now come back to Saudi.
Yes, sir.
I'll evaluate. I want to see it straight.
Okay,
So I'll make everything. But it should be. If anything happens, I don't have to.
Then, sir.
How will we even allow this? Get to this point?
Tell us what has brought you here and the directive that you are giving to those
Let me just
running business.
Sometime last year, we had several complaints of illegal activities going on the pedestrian bridge and under the bridge. Criminal activities were going on. So we had to deploy our enforcement team, agents, to come and do a scope and feedback was to construct lots of shanties under the bridge. It goes beyond environmental and safety issues now. And then their waste will now be dropped into the major canal, system 6C, around this place. So when we got the report, we said, okay, let us come to them. Let us do a full scope of it. And I am glad the press team were also here. You saw the magnitude of what we had to contend with. Nobody say you can't have your markets. Your markets are for designated places and areas. But when you have your market built, or your shanties, or your stores built on a drainage itself, or you have to go and construct.
It's for us to say, let's give a minute silence to those the Boko Haram actually killed in Borno State 4 days ago. So 4 days ago, at a community called Domba. I'm coming, I want to put up a picture. So today, 147 people killed by Boko Haram on Sunday, the 12th of January, right? And the majority of them are farmers and fishermen, all right? At a place called Domba, near Baga, in Borno State, are laid to rest. These people, they are farmers, fishermen at Domba, in Baga, local government area of Borno State. 147 of them were slaughtered by the Boko Haram on that horrific Sunday morning. And the story didn't make it to the main media in Nigeria. The Boko Haram terrorist, ISWAP terrorist, Lakurawa terrorist, Fulani terrorist have been killing at a rate that you can say it's never seen before. But the thiefnubu and his handlers have done a great job in ensuring that the media continue to overlook all of this report because they do not want thiefnubu and his gang to look bad in the face of the impoverished Nigerians. I just thought I should bring that in as we are coming close to the end of this broadcast this evening. 147 farmers and fishermen slaughtered 4 days ago. And there's no mention of that by the government of Nigeria, by even the Borno State government. Nobody said anything about it. Today, those people were like buried. Did I add that this is also a Christian community as well? Yes, it is. And just like that same Sunday, was it Sunday or Saturday? Chibok in Borno State was also attacked, and more than 100 people were slaughtered there as well. No number of people were kidnapped. It didn't make it to the main media or to the main news. The government of Nigeria didn't mention it. The Presidiocy of Nigeria didn't mention it. None of his own ass-licking court jesters or clowns mentioned it, because it will make them look bad, since they are telling people that thiefnubu is the best thing that happened to you after sliced bread. No matter what you are going through, the economy is better, the security is better, this and that is better, while Nigerians are being slaughtered. About in a single year, the terrorists killed 614,000 Nigerians, kidnapped 2.2 million Nigerians were kidnapped That's in 1 year, one single year. And Nigeria is not at war. And then that's where we found an Igbo soldier who probably should just drop the uniform, drop the gun, and become a singer or a gospel artist. Because it's just a matter of time. He is himself and a waiting victim.
Egwu Chukwu na-atụ m, egwu Chukwu na-atụ m, egwu Chukwu na-atụ m, egwu Chukwu na-atụ m. Una ụla nụ Nebukadneza, onye nupụrụ isi n'okwu Chineke, Jehova mere ya kọwọ anụ. Egwu Chineke na-atụ m, nanụ Jehova bụ onye nwere n'ụwa, egwu Jehova na-atụ m. Eze enyi m o, unu ahụla nụ nwunye Lọt, onye nupụrụ isi n'okwu Chineke, Jehova mere ya kọwọ unu. Egwu Chineke na-atụ m, nanụ Jehova bụ onye nwere n'ụwa, egwu Jehova na-atụ m.
It is smoke Igbo. It is take India. It is smoke Igbo. It is take India.
You better drop the old uniform and possibly to save your life, go and start your gospel music career. Because last, you are just a fair game in a corrupt military that is not even bold enough to give a decent burial to their own soldiers that are being slaughtered like, I don't want to even say being slaughtered like chicken. Because the way they kill them, you don't even kill a chicken like that without you feeling like, you know? Anyway, on the other part, here is another heartbreaking video from the northern part of Nigeria, just to show to you the deep, rotten leadership legacy of those who claim to be the Arewanistan in that contraption called Nigeria. The children are the most victims. I keep saying it. Take a look at this.
This is part two, children. They are children. These children are supposed to be in school. Look at it, part 2. Children that are supposed to be in school. This is Kano. This is Kano. Children, ladies, female children, young children, below the age of 10 years. Some of them are 3, 4 years. Na rantse da Allah, duk wanda yake da hannu a cikin wannan masifar da aka jefa yaran nan a ciki, shi da iyalansa da danginsa ba za su taba jin daɗi ba. Duniya da lahira, Allah ya isa. Look at it, children. This is a children. The other one was part 1, that is for women. This is for children. Children that are supposed to be in school. Today is Friday. Today is Friday. All our children are in school. Look at it. Look at it. See children, they are even fighting. Look at it. They are even fighting. They are fighting. Because no one to take care of them. No one. No one. You should stop giving birth to a number of children that you cannot cater for them. Stop this rubbish. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam can never be proud of such kind of what? Mutanen da kuke haifa, cewa ya ku haifi yaran da za ku iya kula da su. Yes, look at children. Abin tausayi. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Tsakani da Allah. Look at this. Kalli wannan yara ne, 'yan mata ga su. Gashi, look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Children. Children. Government should do something. Abba gida, you have to do something. This is the third part 3 of for the women. Part 3. Where are we heading to? Are we really in sense? Are we really a human? Imagine, look at it. Look at the long queue. Look at it there.
Shay, help us, help us.
There is God. Oh. There is God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. God should descend. Oh, today God will descend here. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. This thing will end today. My sisters, if your child lost, will you stay and keep quiet? Will you people stay and keep quiet? The president now is calling you, come, I want to help you. You don't want to appear. Will you agree? No. Now the first lady is calling you, come, I want to help you. Come to find your child, your missing child. Will you keep quiet? No. Child, there is God. Oh. There is God. Oh. The bloods we are sharing, there is God. Oh. 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 It's okay.
Just to let you know that a failed system, the most affected are children. All it takes is just for you to pay attention, if you can. So if they tell you that Nigeria's future, they are lying to you. Nigeria has no future. Not this way. Because you can easily see that future now. So it's so bleak. It is bleak. In Anambra State, where it is now reported that kidnappers have almost taken over the entire state, even though I heard that today, the Anambra State House of Assembly passed a law that allows the vigilantes to get armed and defend their different communities. You know, an Anambra, banker, a lady, got kidnapped. They paid the ransom twice, but guess what? A kidnapper still killed her. Soludom, the Soludol, has been everywhere pointing fingers. The latest one he did is, that the kidnappers are not from Anambra State. They are from outside Anambra. It is more or less like the state has fallen into the hands of these kidnappers. The Fulani terrorists, the local terrorists, who are also the Igbos there too. It is a sad tale, a sad reality as we speak. What is Soludom doing? This. There is a guy that we all used to condemn, especially during the time of Bokwari. We all used to condemn the terrorist regime of Bokwari. Bosun is one of, it's like this guy aspired to acquire, to maguire and desire, require to perspire. What is that his name again? The guy that wanted to be president. You remember him? I don't know, his name just kind of, he used to be my friend though, like Showore. You know, you remember him? He's the motivational speaker that later became a political appointee of Bokwari. He is also a political appointee of thiefnubu as we speak right now. What is that his name again? Please remind me. Anyway, Bosun was made a minister and is a minister of communication, the guy that replaced Issa Pandemic, the Issa Patantami of this world. He is the communication minister, and since he became that minister, he has gone away. He continues to propagate all kinds of ideas that are so stupid that, honestly, some of us are probably better off being critic, you know, like the football critic. You know, you can tell them, instead of you to lob the ball, pass this and that, they say, yeah, go and put on your boots and put on your own jersey. What wing would you play? I'll play 7. Yeah, put him inside there and let's see what he has to do. Then it became a total flop. He was on Arise earlier today, and then his defense is that
I want people to pay attention to it because I communicate extensively. Extensively. I'm probably the first minister in the history of Nigeria that gives a weekly updates and weekly report on its own activity. This is a fact. It's all over social media. We do this regularly. We want people to follow our effort because we know the president is extremely keen on driving Nigeria's economy to become that $1 trillion economy, which is possible.
We did discuss about it.
It's possible. This is the only way we can actually create the jobs to meet the needs of our people. The president is very aware that this is a country that is adding 5 million new people every year. So when we're saying our population is projected to be at about 500 million by 2050, that's a fact. The numbers are there. But for us to truly serve these people, we must grow an economy that can offer good job opportunities for the young people, but also ensure that the infrastructure to back that development is there. And that's what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is all about.
All right. Nuisance Lele.
The way is now talking about how they are going to use AI. They will use AI to improve agriculture. They will use AI to fight insecurity. They will use AI and train people on AI, but Nigeria don't get electricity. Just a bunch of idiots, talking heads. You know, it was among the younger generation of, they call them, oh, they have a name they are calling them. I don't know why I kind of like forgot that. You know, they are something like a new, new status, okay, who developed a different kind of apps as app solution. Okay, if you have a small business and they want to put you, not just create a world wide web for you to reach further or reach more customers, they create an app solution, this and that, an ecosystem, sort of an ecosystem where, all these young businesses looking for investment seeds and all that all over the place. And they did get some. Then he became a minister, appointed minister. And since then, he has been a complete flop, a total disappointment. He won't agree. He doesn't agree. Unfortunately. Well, the final part of tonight is just us touching a little bit on the latest on the Alaafin for yours. I don't want to call it controversy. Is it controversy? No, it shouldn't be. But it's that the 5 Oyomesis, the kingmakers in Oyo, those who claim that Seyi Makinde rejected the oracle chosen candidates, oracle chosen Alaafin. They rejected that. They said they have now given Seyi Makinde 5 days, okay, to withdraw Alaafin Abimbola Akinwuade, which has been given the certificate of office as well as the staff of office. So he has to withdraw that. But just yesterday, one person was a guest on Arise as well. And that one actually categorically said that Solo Makinde Ibadan will regret that is action. I don't know what you meant by that. Maybe you can tell me what you mean.
What we experienced in Oyo in the last few days is quite pathetic. It's unfortunate.
Oyo shouldn't be. Oyo is the basin of tradition in Yoruba land, and is the heritage of Yoruba land that has values, that appreciate value, that carries so much weight. So if anybody is trying to toy with that, it's really going to, I have no doubt that it's going to backfire. Let me say this. With what has happened in Oyo now, with what is happening now in Oyo, I think Governor Seyi Makinde has placed a huge moral burden on himself that he will live with it for the rest of his life. I pray it grows to maybe 70, 80, 90 when he reflects, and he will regret the decision he has taken. Because I have not seen, even if you want to rewrite history, you want to rewrite tradition, this is not the best way to rewrite it. Having said that, there are a couple of things that are wrong because there were gross violation of both the custom, tradition, and even law. Because Oyo traditional chieftaincy law, is governed by 1961 declaration.
All right.
And 2000 Oyo state chief laws. These laws spelled out details of who and who should do what are the roles. It talks about the role of the ruling houses. It talked about the role of the Oyomesis, the kingmakers. It talks about the role of the government. So this legal framework provided what is expected of every component, For instance, the legal framework, the 2000 Oyo chieftaincy law talked about it touched about 5 key areas. One is the recognition of 2 ruling houses, the Agunloye and Alowolodu. These are the 2 rulers that were recognized by the law. Secondly, it talks about rotational occupancy, that it has to be alternated between these houses. It talks about eligibility requirement, that before you can contest, you can aspire to be a king or to become an Alaafin, you must be a male of the descendant of the family that is to produce, because it's going to be alternated. It talked about the final decision that will be made on who becomes the Alaafin, that which is the prerogative, the authority, the right, the power given to the Oyomesis under the leadership of Bayo, the Prime Minister.
So are you saying the new Oba has not met all of these requirements? If not, just none of these requirements he has met?
It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the violation by the government of the state under the leadership of Governor Seyi Makinde. It was a brazen violation of customs. It was a brazen violation of our laws. So what I am saying is that the Oyomesi has the power for selection, because the law empowers the Oyomesi to select who becomes, and it has its procedures. Okay, when the late Alaafin died, the late Lamido Adeyemi died, may so rest, there are procedures. The Oyomesi wrote to the government that since Alaafin had done, after the completion of both official and traditional rights, and they said we need to start this to have. So they wrote the government replied. Alaafin died April. By July, the Oyomesi assumed their constitutional role. They wrote to the government through Atiba local government under whose jurisdiction Alaafin and the Oyomesi operates. They wrote to the government, we need to start this procedure. By August 5, approval had come. Commence the process. They did. By September, they did the interview, they conducted the interview and all the screening for all the aspirants. 84 of them were involved, including this individual that the governor declared.
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I am the first speaker among the 3 of us running. So they will spy on me. So you will have a limited answer here today. Another day you can bring me back. But that's part of what I do.
That's part of what I want to say. Because right now, the person that chose the next Alaafin is the governor of Oyo State, not the Oyomesi. And as it stands, it is now propaganda for propaganda. Seyi Makinde and his own supporters have been running a propaganda that the Oyomesis, they are corrupt. They have been compromised. And because they are compromised, for the sake of the Alaafins to the importance of it, he has now ascribed the role to himself as the Oyomesi in council, as the governor. And yeah, his will shall be done, or no, his will has been done. Anyone who doesn't like that can go to court. So it's now propaganda versus propaganda right now. But we shall be here. All of us shall be here. So from the communique of the Nigerian Governors Forum concerning the tax reform and their own proposal, I have here with me the visual communique read by two of them, the governor of Kwara and the governor of Kaduna. Quickly.
Including the reform of the Nigerian policies and tax system, and the right articulate conclusions.
The forum reiterated its strong support for the comprehensive reform of Nigeria's decay tax laws. Members acknowledge the importance of modernizing the tax system to enhance fiscal stability and align with global best practices.
Two, the forum includes a revised value-added tax slab shall be formed to ensure equitable distribution of resources as follows: 50% based on equality, 30% based on generation, and 20% based on cooperation.
Number three, members also agree that there should be no increase in VAT rate from 7.5% currently, or reduction in corporate income tax from the current 30% at this time to maintain economic stability. The forum advocated the continued exemption of essential goods of agricultural produce from VAT so that we will continue to safeguard the welfare of the Nigerian citizens and promote agricultural activity.
4. The meeting recommended that there should be no permanent crops for telecom, nursery, and media in the sharing of the development aids in the bills.
Number 5. The meeting supports the continuation of the legislative process at the National Assembly that will culminate in the eventual passage of the tax reform bill into law.
The committee is signed by me, the amount of the direction, and the government person. Thank you very much.
So we shall see how thiefnubu and his gang will probably react to this. After all, Koolu's intention is to just be the tax collector, give the collection contract to his own self, and then take his own cut. All right? So there's no death that is pretty much not comfortable, convenient for somebody like that who is there to slaughter every one of you anyway. So yeah, you can choose how you want to die. And yeah, as long as he is going to be the one holding the axe, everything else is fine. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, just before we call it a night, I have just been told that the digital training, business training that I've been offering a lot of us on this platform for a while now, including the offer that comes with it is all running out this weekend, this Saturday. Now, let me explain that to you. You see, if you by any chance decided to sign up, it will cost you $149 to sign up. That's when you are going to have all the materials you need to learn, about this business, so to say. Then, if you indeed want to stay on, which means if you decide that you actually want to have your own online business in this regard, so you can then proceed into, the next stage. And that next stage is when you are going to really invest in your personal, business it is. Now, whatever you buy, right, is for your own use, apart from the points that you're going to get from that. However, if you decide to stay on after scanning this barcode on the right, now, like I said the last time, you will need to bring out the camera of your phone, scan this barcode on the screen, follow the link, read more about it, and if you choose to want to sign up, great. Now, if you sign up and you want to stay on, right, what you will do next is you are likely going to, if you do that between now and Saturday, which is, I think it's just 2 days away, you stand a chance of benefiting from this 2,000 and 5,000, between 2,000 and 5,000 support fund. Now, what that does is there is a likelihood that you are going to invest between, how is that, make a purchase. It's actually not invest. Like I told you before, this is not an MMM. This is not a get rich quick sort of a thing, okay? It is an online digital business, they call it, okay, where you get trained on how, to run your own online business, which includes, attracting other, other members to your own platform, have a media presence as well, like social media, then online presence in this regard. So if you are looking for an extra legitimate means of income, right? So this may be a chance for you, right? Age doesn't really count. And yeah, if you probably want your own financial freedom in this regard as well, try it out. Read more about it. And if you are staying on, that is when you are going to get that, that fund, that financial support in that, okay? Check it out. And if it is for you, you will know. And if it's not, you can cancel it anytime, which not anytime. You have to cancel it within a month so that you can get every penny you put in back. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And yeah, there's another thing. And that is, it has been confirmed that I am actually going to be in the US for 2 weeks. I'm attending Yomi Totu's birthday. I've been invited, so I'm going to be at his birthday. So if you are also invited, maybe that will be a time that we are going to possibly see, okay? And there is there's an ongoing plan where we can arrange a meet and greet. I've been told that there are so many of the Templars in Texas, which is great. So I'm going to be in Houston between the 14th of February up till like 28th of February. But now, there is going to be a means of a contact for those who probably how is it going to play out, like, where are we having this meet and greet and all that, right? So that is also going to be shared at the right time, but it has been confirmed. I am going to be in the US for 2 weeks, and that's going to start from the Valentine's Day, I think, 14th of February to the 20th of February. So I don't want to leave without saying that. Maybe I'll repeat when I have more information on how is it going to play out, what's going to happen. So there's likely going to be a big gathering where you see this chart that we normally have in the temple. We can have it physically somewhere in Texas. So if you have anything scheduled for February, and you can figure out, how you can be around as well, that would be great. I've been offered, private tour of the same Texas, and hopefully, right, I'll see you there, especially those of you in Houston and other areas. Thanks so much for your time and for all the times, okay? Enjoy the rest of your evening. And yeah, good night.
àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún Diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí. Máyégún Diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún Diary Nayibi number one. Máyégún Diary politico. Máyégún Diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún. Máyégún Diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Máyégún Diary Nayibi number one. Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tótótótó. Máyégún Diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Presidio bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Ayé. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lé ibo níṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní bí wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.